Hey, what's up guys? My name is Nate and welcome to finally my review of the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So in an attempt to make this video as short and sweet as possible, I'm just gonna get right to the point and basically give you my opinion as painfully honest as possible, and just say that this is without a doubt the least fun I've ever had playing a Call of Duty multiplayer. Which is pretty crazy to think about, considering I have been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 1 and have not missed a single title since then. So obviously with that statement, I will be going into detail and explaining why that has been my experience with this game. A lot of these points, because there is a lot of bad points that I listed, I'll be going over more quickly, but I have 3 points I'll be going into more detail with. So the number one biggest issue I'm having with this game, and I don't really see getting fixed, and I'm definitely not the only person, actually most of the mouse and keyboard players that have played this game have complained about this, is the hit reg with a mouse.
Yeah. I'm clipping that.
Excuse me.
Oh no.
Dude, I just don't know.
So for the few people that don't know what I mean when I say hit reg or having bad hit reg, it literally just means when you're aiming on somebody and your bullets don't register. This was a massive issue in the beta. It was complained about like crazy, and at least being a mouse and keyboard player, it did not change at all in the full release of the game. I honestly thought I was going crazy and maybe I just wasn't used to the game. But when you go from playing this game, Cold War, back to MW, the difference is so drastic. It's crazy with the hit reg. And I'm not even talking about like 6v6 MW, which is supposed to be better netcode, a higher tick rate and all that stuff. I'm talking about like 150 player Warzone, which is supposed to have some of the worst netcode in all of MW. And it still feels miles better than Cold War 6v6. And I say specifically mouse and keyboard because I've tried controller and a lot of my friends have tried controller, and for whatever reason the hit reg, while it's definitely not perfect on controller, there's still issues with it, probably because of the bullet velocity. It's a whole lot better than mouse, and I'd love to tell you guys why that is, but I honestly have no fucking idea. I can honestly not tell you why it's so much worse on mouse, but it sucks because of that one reason. I don't have any mouse and keyboard friends that play this game consistently anymore, and honestly I don't blame them, because literally just because of that one issue, this game is incredibly frustrating to play as a mouse player. And that kind of brings me to my second point, and that is kind of just controller aim assist in general. So if you're a controller player, and even just a decent controller player, you've probably noticed that the aim assist is weirdly broken in this game. And we found out, thanks to exclusive Ace, that a big reason for that is because the aim assist bubble, basically what the aim assist sucks onto and tracks, is glitched currently in the game. Sometimes it is way bigger than the character itself.
In this situation, I am keeping perfect, consistent pressure on my aim, and I'm sweeping across at a very consistent rate. I'm not trying to accelerate. I'm not stopping my thumb from moving. My thumb is applying the exact same amount of pressure on the thumbstick throughout this entire movement. And watch what happens when an enemy strafes into my aim. Right here, you'll see that their aim assist bubble is leading in front of their target, and it catches my aim and literally stops my aim. Even though I'm still applying pressure to my aim and still trying to fight against that aim assist, it caught my aim before the target even got there, and now it's forcing me to aim at a bubble in front of my target.
And so this ends up causing tons of weird gunfights and annoying shit where controller players are sometimes aimbotting the shit out of you. And I mean, the sticky auto rotational aim assist that helps you track people it'll help you track through anything. Flinch, recoil, debris, sometimes through walls, any kind of movement you throw at it, sliding, G-sliding, slide canceling, jumping, crouching, vaulting. I mean, this thing will literally track you through so much shit that it is really difficult to outplay it with a mouse, especially with how bad the hit reg is on mouse. But then other times the aim assist is actually working against controller players because of the bubble, to where sometimes you're playing on controller and you're trying to get onto the target and actually shoot the person, but because the aim assist bubble is messed up right now, it fights you and will not let you get on target and make micro adjustments. So how they managed to mess up aim assist so badly in this game is beyond me. I mean, I don't think controller aim assist was perfect in MW. I think for pistols and some other weapons, it was still too strong. But man, was it a whole hell of a lot better than this game. And that finally brings me to my third and last big point that I'm going to be going into detail about. And that is the awful new score streak system in Cold War. So I actually can't even call it a streak system anymore, because that's not what it is. It's a score reward system, because now it doesn't matter how many times you die in a match, as long as you achieve a certain amount of score, however much score it requires to get these kill streaks, you will get them. So for example, I think the attack chopper is like around 2,000 score. So I mean, you could realistically die 60 times in a Nuketown game, but if you eventually get that 2100 score at the end of a Nuketown game that's lasted 16 minutes, you will get the attack chopper. And when this system first got leaked and rumored before the beta even came out, me and my friends knew it was going to be absolutely horrible. And not surprising, it is. It does not work well at all, and especially with Nuketown 24/7 that just came out, it was amplified by 100 with how shitty it is. Nuketown 24/7 games at this higher elo skill-based matchmaking is basically the same game over and over and over again. The games work just like clockwork with the score streaks, where pretty much everybody in a domination game gets all their streaks at halftime and at the end of the game. And you end up just getting these absolute clusterfuck of score streak spam. Not to mention, this system was supposed to help objective players get streaks more often, but it actually does literally the opposite. It is, if you only play the objective, it is awful for getting streaks. And it's everybody's kind of caught on to that, because now in Nuketown 24/7, everybody just runs past the home flags on domination at the beginning of the game, because it is pointless to cap them. Also, with the matchmaking the way it is right now, being a solo player, it constantly throws me into games that are halfway over, which is already bad enough, because a lot of the time my team's getting destroyed and I'm trying to carry them back. But because the games are halfway over, everybody's getting their streaks like usual in Nuketown. So you just join into this absolute fucking chaos of streak spam. And yeah, oh man, this actually, the score streak system almost beat hit reg for being the thing that I dislike the most about this game. I mean, I have no clue what they were thinking with this system. But yeah, with the Nuketown coming out and playing a good 4 days of that, it's very obvious it doesn't work well. And hopefully we never see this system ever again in Call of Duty. So those were the three main points and main reasons I dislike this game. But like I said before, that is not even close to all the reasons. So another one of the reasons, and this really just to me shows that this game was rushed out, not finished, and underdeveloped, is the fact that in all of the multiplayer, we only have 8 maps on full release. Now, obviously, I don't think this is counting Dirty Bomb, which is technically still multiplayer, but the game mode, if you've played it, is a lot like Warzone, but you continuously respawn. That game mode has 2 maps, but because I never played that game mode, I think in total the multiplayer has 8 maps on release, and now it has 9 because of Nuketown. And as I'm making this recording, it was actually just announced that Raid is going to be coming to the multiplayer, so that should make 10 finally now. But as much as I like Nuketown and Raid, they are both remakes and not new maps. So it's like, yeah, we are getting new maps added to the game, but they're not really new. They're just reskins of old maps. And they're maps that I have played a million times. You know, I've played Nuketown so many times because it's been reskinned and redone in so many Call of Duties. And the same thing with Raid. I have about 1,500 hours in Black Ops 2, and I've played Raid a million times. And so that, along with there just not being much variety with the new maps in the game, it gets really repetitive and boring. The only good thing I can say is that the maps that are currently in the game are actually pretty decent. They're a whole lot better than MW's 6v6 maps, but I don't know how much that's saying, considering MW's 6v6 maps were probably some of the worst in Call of Duty history. And then along with that, other content in the game is severely lacking. You have different cosmetic categories where it's obvious there's going to be things there in the future, but in the full release of the game as it is right now, there's pretty much nothing. So there's absolutely 0 vehicle skins, even though there is a category for them. Charms have also made a comeback, but you only have 6 that are free and already unlocked, and they're all basically the same thing, just reskinned a little bit. Apart from that, I actually did some research, and apparently there is other charms in the game, but you can only unlock them through promotional campaigns from different companies like Mountain Dew, Doritos, I think Guitar Hero, and then some jerky company. All the operators, I think in total there's like about 16 operators, but they're all either just characters from the campaign or very generic, boring characters. There's only one thing in the entire store, and it's the Call of Duty, I think, endowment pack. Gun stickers have made a comeback from MW, but the only stickers in the game are from mastering weapons, and then I think there's a Nuketown sticker. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else. Back in MW, one of my favorite things was the gunsmith, and how you would get these very special variations of weapons that would change them massively, and I like that so much more than just regular camos. And they kind of have the same thing in this game, but in this game they're more camos rather than in MW, where a lot of them completely changed the weapon. So I know a lot of other people have realized and pointed it out that this Call of Duty, it honestly still feels like we're playing in a beta, and that's pretty obvious with how the cosmetics in the game are going right now. I almost feel like December 10th is when the real full version of the game is supposed to come out, but I don't know. We'll have to see there. And then of course the underdeveloped part, in my opinion, has to do a lot with the animations just being a complete and obvious downgrade from MW. Not even from MW. It's a downgrade from other past older Call of Duties too. A lot of the movement, vaulting, and reloading animations look awful. Especially a lot of the reloading animations. There's some reloading animations for some SMGs where it looks so stiff. And the way they did the animation, they make the gun take up half of your screen so you can't see anything. And along with the movement animations just being very subpar. What the what just happened there? That guy was on the ladder shooting me. Stopped working on that guy.
Well, it's like the SMG bullets are just so delayed. Travel distance or time.
What?
Have to put them on.
I hate this game. What? I didn't even stand up. And the movement in general is the same way. It's just a downgrade from MW. Like, it's not necessarily bad. It's just everything feels more floaty or like you're in mud, whereas MW feels snappier and quicker with its sliding and jumping and its vaulting. In Cold War, they decided to go back to just regular sprinting and get rid of the tactical sprint that was in MW. I think this was an awful choice. The tactical sprint just added more depth to the movement in Call of Duty. I mean, it wasn't all that much, but it was still a little bit of depth, and they just took that away. And unfortunately, a lot of issues that MW did have are in this game as well. So for instance, the visibility in this game, it's not as bad as MW, but it's still garbage compared to older Call of Duties. People blend in way too well in this game, especially on the new Nuketown map. If people stand still, you cannot see them in a lot of the areas of the map. And I almost feel like this might have been on purpose so that the flashlight attachment is more of a necessity. And if that is true, that sucks, because that'll just add another crutch to the game, which this game already has a lot of. The stim shot is massively crutch in this game because your HP regen's really fucking slow, even though the time to kill is much faster than it was in Black Ops 4. A lot of the perks, once again, are also very crutch. Tactical mask and flak jacket are almost a must if you want to stay on a decent streak. Stuns are just as overpowered as they were in MW, but at least in this game, tactical mask actually works properly. Like, if you use tactical mask, stuns do like fucking nothing to you, which is really nice. Flak jacket, also necessity. I actually think it's a little too overpowered. I mean, you can get grenaded like 4 times and be completely fine. Dead silence is insane. Dead silence almost completely gets rid of your footsteps so people can't sound whore you. And I think it negates field mics partly too, which is crazy because everybody uses field mics. And I didn't even get into attachments. There's a lot of attachments that are super crutch too. And with that ends up making it to where, because the leveling up of weapons and getting attachments is so slow in this game, like I said in my last video, it took me nearly 1,000 kills to level up my Bullfrog SMG to max level and get all the attachments. And so because of that, if you're using a new weapon without attachments, you are at such a huge disadvantage against somebody that's using a weapon that's fully upgraded. And along with the attachments in this game, they actually decided to redo Flinch in this game, which is one of the things when I heard it first, I was the most excited about, because it leaked that they were going to get rid of Flinch, which I was so happy about, because getting rid of Flinch apart from snipers is the right move in my opinion. An SMG or an AR LMG fight with no flinch only comes down to who has the more consistent aim and reactions. But unfortunately, that's not the case. They actually did get rid of physical flinch that moves your crosshair when you get shot, but they replaced it with visual only flinch. And I was really confused about this for a while, but it is literally what it says. Your gun shoots up when you get shot, and it looks like you flinch, but your aim and your crosshair is actually still exactly where you were aiming. And this sounds like a good idea, but it actually doesn't work at all if you're a mouse and keyboard player, because you are already hardwired in your brain to micro adjust that flinch with your mouse. But now that the flinch is not actually moving your crosshair aim, it's only visual, you shouldn't be adjusting it. But trying to train your brain after playing every FPS that has flinch in it to not pay attention to that flinch is impossible. And on top of that, to add to the flinch, they made it to where when your character gets shot, he physically gets moved. And I'm not talking like he gets moved an inch. Sometimes you get moved several feet back from cover. It stops your movement and it'll throw off your aim because your character is physically getting pushed in a certain direction. I mean, some of the decisions that were put into this multiplayer are so bizarre. It literally feels like they wrote these down on paper and thought, yeah, these sound amazing, and then just never actually tested them in game. But yeah, that is most of the issues I had. There's also some other smaller ones, like of course this game is very buggy, very glitchy. Lots of people are having lots of crashes, mouse issues, UI errors. There's a lot of settings in the graphics settings that are flip-flopped, and a lot of settings that don't do what they say they do. There's also not a setting for film grain like there was in MW that gets rid of the static noise that you see in darker colors. So of course you get that a living shit ton in this game, especially on the main menus. You get this nasty static, and yeah, I am not surprised that most PC mouse and keyboard players are already done with this game. I mean, there really is no benefit to playing this game over other PC FPS games. I will say this though, one thing I definitely noticed going from this game, Cold War, to MW, is that the audio in Cold War is way better. I don't know what the hell the developers for MW did with the audio, but it sounds so bad. It's so muffled and like bassy and just not detailed, whereas Cold War actually has really good audio. It's super easy to hear where shit's coming from, footsteps, all that stuff. It's super clear. And then in MW, it's just like I can't hear a footstep from a dude who's right next to me. But yeah, that's one of the very few positives in this game that I found playing it for the last 20 days. So yeah, this doesn't mean I'm not going to be playing the game at all ever again, even though I've said that a couple times on stream after having to stream this game for 5 hours straight. But I will definitely not be going anywhere near as hard on this game as I did as like MW Ground War, where I ended up putting like 500 hours into it. This game will probably be a play it every once in a while, maybe kind of a game, but I'll probably be playing Warzone, especially now that a big update is going to be coming out in just under a week, I think, for Warzone. So yeah, sorry about this video being so long and basically just shitting on the game the entire time, but I really wanted to just put out my honest opinion about the game where it is right now. And yeah, as you can tell, not a huge fan. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.